call together or call to order our city council meeting, and we will note that we have a full quorum present. All are here. We'll begin with our opening ceremony. Councilwoman Karen Lang will lead us in that ceremony.
Thank you. Would you all please rise and follow the Pledge of Allegiance with me?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. We do have a special recognition. We have a group of scouts with us tonight, and they have a young man they've selected to come up and introduce them, their troop number, what they're working on by being here, and then just what schools they attend. So if you would come right up here to this great big podium and pull the microphone down. There you go.
We are Rebels Scout Group 4944.
Most of us are from West Valley Elementary, and we are Rebels.
Okay.
We're working on our citizen badge.
Working on your citizen badge. Great. Well, thank you very much for being here. We welcome you, and it'll be interesting to see what you think of our council meeting. So, thank you very much. Welcome again. Okay. Now we do have two sets of minutes from January 6th and 7th that we officially need to approve. So that's the next item on our agenda. Any discussion from the council or any motions?
Mayor, I'll move for approval of the January 6, 2014 special meeting and swearing-in ceremony minutes.
We have a motion before us. Is there a second?
A second.
Second on the motion. Any further discussion on this motion?
No, sir.
None, we'll place it for a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes from January 6th, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Since you did one of them but not both, we now need to address the issue of the minutes from January 7th, 2014.
I'll move for approval of the minutes for the January 7th, 2014 regular meeting.
Councilman Nordfeldt has placed the motion before us. Second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion to the motion? Seeing none, we'll place it for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. That takes care of our minutes. Next we go to our awards and ceremonies, and Councilman Bueller is going to we'll turn the time over to him for the EAC Division of the Quarter Award.
Thank you, Mayor. And we have several of our police officers in the back of the room there. They are Group C Detective Squad, which is receiving the Quarterly Division Award for the fourth quarter of 2013. This nomination, which was accepted and approved, was submitted by Jay Hormer, and I will go ahead and read that now. And when I'm done, we'd like to invite Chuck to shake all of our hands and receive the award. I would like to nominate as the Division of the Quarter the Group C Detective Squad within the Investigation Section, led by Sergeant Blair Barfus. Their primary assignment lies within investigations involving juveniles, so their offices are in the schools. They wear two hats there as they, one, handle all the day-to-day issues as a school resource officer, and two, conduct investigations on cases assigned to them. Over the summer, they also take on a regular investigations caseload, which they did over this past summer. Half of the squad also specializes in sex offense cases, have taken the forensic interview training, and are active in taking on the additional responsibilities of investigating those cases. In comparison to the other two investigative units, Group C is small, but the group has completed quite a number of cases. Sergeant Barfus, as the immediate supervisor, came into the unit and immediately took on additional responsibilities Others did not or would not take on, and other supervisors have not had to do. Sergeant Barfus heads up the ICAC unit at West Valley City, supervising 2 of our ICAC detectives and working a caseload. He also has written multiple warrants for himself for ICAC cases over this time period. He also supervised the sex offender registry cases as well as the detectives over that area of expertise. Over the quarter, the squad made 207 arrests and wrote 18 warrants, both of which were very high per detective rates. The unit also screened charges against 126 individuals and had a total caseload similar to that of the other 2 detective units. In addition, the unit produced 16 child pornography cases and conducted 169 checks on current sex offenders to ensure compliance with the sex offender registry. At the end of August, the new school session began, and the group continued to investigate their assigned cases while taking on the busy day-to-day grind of the school day and meet the needs of the faculty, students, and administration. The cases the unit has investigated during this time include domestic violence, death, child abuse, rape, homicide, and many other various types of cases. Sergeant O'Kem specifically noted in the police intel meeting that he was appreciative for the assistance of 3 special victims investigators in the unit that have taken on those special cases. While all the detectives within the unit are very capable and have proven their hard work and willingness to take on any and every assignment needed, they are led by one of West Valley City's true leaders, exemplifying the ethics which has been seen throughout the entire Group C detective squad.
We'd invite you to come forward and shake hands. Yeah. If the sergeant wanted, oh, he's not. If there was someone who, I don't know if you had anyone here you want to recognize or any just brief comment that you're in charge or lead or whoever would like to just say with welcome.
Sure, I'll come up to the hot seat. My name is Sergeant Burke. Sergeant Barfus is not here. He's actually been reassigned to handle some other issues. So I'm the new guy. I'm one of the new guys on the crew. But in my month that I've been supervising this unit, I cannot believe the caseload that these guys have amassed just over that 1 month time with sex offenses. We've handled some very high profile, or at least in my opinion, high profile child abuse cases. And I cannot believe the dedication of these guys behind me. I'm very proud that I'm associated with them now. I look forward to leading them in the future. So thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate the work that you do. We recognize that sometimes it's challenging work. Having worked certainly with ICAC, ICAC on some other issues, we just recognize the difficult work you do. Thank you for your work. Okay, and with that, it is not necessary for you to stay for the rest of the meeting, although you're welcome to do so. But if you have other pressing matters, we understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Next on our agenda, we have a comment period. Now, this is time for residents to address the council regarding any issue that's not scheduled for public hearing. So if you're here to speak about the Gardner Company and their request on the Highbury Center subdivision, we will allow a time for that a little later in the meeting. So, but you're welcome on any comment. We have one person who signed up, John Gust.
I didn't know you.
Oh, okay.
I'm with the government.
Okay, so you'll come up later. Then no other public comments, then we will...
Mayor, point of order.
Yes.
We've had another scout group walk in, and I'm wondering if we can go back to some special recognitions.
We certainly can, especially since we hadn't have any public comments. So we had a scout troop enter. We would like for you to designate one of the young men to come forward, and we would like to know your troop number, why you're here, if you're working on a merit badge, and then also the schools that you attend, so we kind of get an idea of where you're from. Troop number, merit badge, or whatever, and schools. And if you,
Troop 440, we're here for the Citizenship in the Community Merit Badge. And we go to Hunter Junior, most of us, and then one of us goes to Paradigm.
okay. And one other thing, since you spoke publicly in this meeting, it's appropriate for you to introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry, I'm Kenneth Waldrop.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. And so, okay. Then we're back to our public comments. Since we did not see anyone here to have input from the public, we'll now go to the city manager to see if there are any comments that you have.
No, sir. Thank you.
Or the assistant city manager representing the city manager. Then to the city council, any comments? I've got to learn to look. Next, on our agenda, we will accept public input regarding application S25-2013, filed by the Gardner Company on an amendment for Lot 7 in Highbury Center subdivision. Now, this is an item that the council has previously discussed last week in our study meeting, and is now coming forward to the council for their review and consideration. So that public input is now open. Is there anyone here from the public who wishes to speak to the, excuse me, maybe I should go to the assistant city manager. Is there any additional information that we should cover on this issue?
Well, I think you've said it perfectly. I would just add that this original plat was plotted back in 2011. This is one lot of 9 lots that's being pared down, if you will, and creating 4 additional commercial lots.
Okay. Now then, to the public, any comments? Seeing none, we'll come back to the council for any discussion or action.
We should close this public hearing.
Yes. We do that before we take our vote.
Yeah.
Then we'll close the public hearing then on this item. Thank you. Now to the council for public input. Excuse me, for council input.
Mayor, if I could offer a comment and then I'll follow it up with a motion. Thank you. This Highbury area, I think we've all attended some ribbon cutting, some grand openings, seen the traffic and the development that's gone on in this area. And it's good to have good partners that we work with in the city as far as planning this out, as far as attracting tenants and working with our city staff to keep the Highbury Center subdivision moving along. And so with this amendment, I think it will help spur on some continued development and some continued options and development to that area. And so I am prepared and ready at this time to offer a motion that we approve ordinance 1411.
Second?
We have a motion before us and a second. Any discussion to the motion or comments?
I would just like to add to Councilman Rushton's comments, the Gardner Company has been a great partner in the city, and we know that they're looking at other areas in the city to work with us, and we're grateful for their partnership. So it's a great opportunity to work with them.
Any further discussion? Seeing none? Any last comments? Then we'll place this motion for the council's vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Now we go to our resolutions. And we begin with Resolution 1409, which we also discussed last week in greater detail, to approve a real estate purchase agreement with Perry Homes. This would be 6482 South Mountain Adams Drive in West Valley. Mr. Assistant Manager, Mr. Isaac, any further comments?
Just to add that this will be used in connection with the Mountain View Corridor, and it'll always be owned by the public, and it will be used for a trail system as well. So.
Thank you for that clarification. Then to the council, any discussion or action?
A comment and then a motion. As we've had our strategic plan meetings and tried to make this our community a little more walkable, we're always looking for ways that we can connect our trails. And so this is just one of those pieces that allows us to connect a subdivision to the trail system, and hope that we have some more of those in the future. So I move for approval of Resolution 1409.
We have a motion before us.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion to the motion or the issue? Seeing none, any last words?
No, sir.
Then we will vote on the motion as presented to us. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. We will now address Resolution 1410. This is one to approve an interlocal cooperative agreement with Salt Lake County. And I believe on this one I'll turn to Mr. Isaac, our Assistant City Manager, to introduce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a interlocal agreement between the city and the county for the Utah Pollution Discharge Elimination System. It basically allows the city and the county to agree through this agreement to implement and enforce within their specific jurisdictions their respective responsibilities for complying with the permitting process.
All right, thank you. Then to the council.
Motion to approve Resolution 14-10. I'm sorry.
We have a motion before us.
Second the motion.
We have a second. Any discussion to the motion?
No, sir.
Okay. The council? Seeing none, then we'll place the motion for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Now we go to 14-11. This resolution is to adopt our legislative agenda for West Valley City for 2013-2015, and as before, these have all been discussed in a previous meeting with the City Council and reviewed in detail. So any additional comments?
No, sir.
Mr. Isaac? Then with that, we will place it to the council for discussion or action.
Mayor?
Yes.
You know, a lot of times as your elected city representatives, and we talk to members of the public, oftentimes matters of federal importance, whether they be the government shutdown or international treaties or whatnot, they come up, and sometimes also with state issues come up. And as as a matter of West Valley City government, a lot of things we don't have control of in the federal realm or in the state realm, but we are looking to be good partners with our federal agencies as well as our federal delegation that we send back to Congress. And it's important that we adopt a legislative agenda, not only so our members of Congress know exactly what our priorities are from this body, but also so the public knows just exactly what we're working on when we take our trips to Washington and make our phone calls and visit offices here locally, what things they can do to help us here in West Valley City and what things we can do to assist them locally with their federal duties. And so with that, I would move, and happy with the priorities that have been laid forward with this resolution, and would move that this council adopt Resolution 1411, the federal legislative agenda of West Valley City.
We have the motion before us.
Second?
Second. We have before us any further discussion to the motion? Yes.
I'd just like to, for the scouts that are here, as our representatives go back to Washington, D.C., there's opportunity for us to get federal dollars to help us with certain projects we have in the city. As you came into City Hall, you noticed the transit system to the west of the building. Much of that was as a result of city council members going back and meeting with our federal representatives to get some funding to help do some of those projects. So these are important things to the growth of the city and to the welfare of the city, and we are sending a few delegates back to work with them and appreciate that work that they do. So just make those comments for the scouts.
Thank you very much. Further discussion? Seeing none, back to Councilman Weston.
Nothing further, thanks.
Then we'll place the motion before the council for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Now we go to Resolution 14-12, adopt the state legislative agenda of West Valley City for the upcoming session. Mr. Isaac, any additional comments?
No, sir.
These were reviewed in our previous study agenda meeting last week, so you should be familiar with them, but we go now to the council for any discussion or action.
Mayor, I would move for approval of Resolution 14-12, adopting the state legislative agenda of West Valley City.
We have a motion before us.
Second?
We have a second. Any discussion to the motion?
I'll just say that thank you. This one is a little more broad in some of the things, as the legislative session up on Utah's Capitol Hill is yet to shape out as in the next few weeks and moves rather quickly. But it is important that, as stated in the resolution, that we continue to monitor and amend as necessary any statute that's necessary to maintain and support the business of West Valley City and to maintain the city's share of any funding generated by the state. So be important for that. And as Councilman Vincent noted on our federal side, soon a number of us will be spending local officials day up at the legislature to discuss some of the issues important to West Valley City.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, we'll place it for a vote. All in favor of the motion to adopt the state legislative agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. We're now to item number 10 on our agenda. Application number S29-2013, filed by Mountain Oasis Holding Limited, requesting final plat approval for Stonebridge Commerce Center subdivision located at 4050 West Links Drive. And yes, I am doing that for those who might be listening in. I'm trying to make sure we get some of this on record for them. So, Mr. Isaac, any further comments or discussion on this item that we reviewed last week?
No, sir.
No?
Well, yes, I'll just make one if I could, sir.
Yes, please.
This property is currently vacant. There's going to be 2 lots put in there, and then at a future time when the staff will get together with the agency and go through the commercial the conditional use and permitted use applications. At that time, we'll review that in detail and bring it back to the council.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
we appreciate having those clarifications, especially for those who are not here and weren't here last week.
Very good.
Okay, so further discussion to the motion or action to the, excuse me, further discussion to the issue or action on the issue. There.
Mayor, I'll move for approval of application S-29, 2013.
Councilman Vincent has made a motion. It's properly before us.
Second.
A second has been made. Now we are ready for discussion on that. Any further comments?
Just a comment to, again, to the public. This is a business section of the city that is growing, and we have a corporate headquarters that wants to build in the city, and this is the location that they want to be. So our economic development is doing a great job in bringing different businesses into the city. So.
All right, thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, we'll place that for a motion, for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. We are now to the point of our agenda where we have a consent agenda, where we have 4 different items on there. These again have been discussed and reviewed last week. Those 4 items are the appointment of Don Christensen as chair of the Sister City Committee for this year, the appointment of Don Christensen as a member of the Cultural Arts Board, Executive Board, for this year, the appointment of Councilwoman Karen Lang as a member of the Clean and Beautiful Committee for a term of 2.5 years, and then to approve a right-of-way agreement with Roberto and Leslie Delgado, property at 2808 South, 6400 West, and to accept a warranty deed from them. That, I believe, is to take care of an intersection where we need to have some lanes modified in order to improve traffic flow there. But with that, Mr. Isaac, any additional comments on those items or clarifications we should add for the record?
No, sir, thank you.
To the council then, any discussion or action on these items?
Mayor, I would move approval of the 4 items of the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion to that?
I noticed Councilmember Lang in attendance at last month's Clean and Beautiful Committee, actively participating, and also know that Don Christensen has had previous involvement in the Sister City Committee as well as cultural arts things, and will well serve the city in those regards. So it's a good group, and excited to have people that are willing and able to serve our city and put their strengths to use. So thank you.
With that then, we'll place the item, the motion for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. I believe that completes our agenda. We do not need on item 12 a motion that was taken care of. No need for a special executive session. Then, one more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. We are adjourned. Thank you.